I've got a story from yesterday. More sitcom, back on my sitcom bullshit. I think I told the mods this already. Probably. They have to deal with me offline. Yesterday, day before yesterday, I got an email that was like, on September 8th, so on September 8th, they sent this email at about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And they said, at 1 p.m. on September the 8th, we will be doing a building inspection and we will be coming inside your unit. And I was like, okay. I responded to it and I was like, does this have the correct date on it? No response. The next day, I was in the bath around... So yesterday, I was in the bath around, like, what, 6:30 p.m. UK time? I'm sat in the bath. I get a notification from my Ring doorbell app that's like someone is outside, but just a movement one, not a Ring the doorbell one. And I was like, I never look at them because there's so many people going in and out that I only really look at them if it's like at a weird time. But I looked at this one and I was like, oh my god, that's a lot of people in the hallway. I'm in the bathtub. The bath is actively running. And I'm in it because I sit in it while it fills up, which I thought was normal, but turns out I guess it's not. Can we get a poll? Do you sit in the bath while it fills up, or do you wait for it to be full? You should start with you were cleaning. Well, I was also cleaning. So my house is, like, in a right fucking state. There were boxes everywhere. There was, like, there's shit everywhere. My suitcase is still in the hallway. Sorry, my nose is running. That's not being a psychopath. That's saving time. And you warm up while it's happening. And you get to be in the bath while it's happening. So my house is just a fucking mess. And I'm like, part of my cleaning is that I'm trying to get rid of a lot of things. So I've got like piles of stuff of like, I want to keep this, I don't want to keep this, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm sat there in the bath and I keep my bathroom door open because I am by myself. I don't give a fuck. I don't even know what the back of my bathroom door looks like. Who cares? Who's gonna see me? No one. So I get up, I lock the door, as in the bathroom door, and I close it. And I'm like, do I just ignore them or what? Or are they just gonna come in? And then I'm like, I don't know if I have anything, like, out that's, like, weird. Like, do I have bras and, like, panties everywhere? Or, like, anything weird? So I'm like, So I get up out of the bath, I put my towel on, I turn the water off, I dry my feet off for the most part. And I walk to the door in my towel, because I'm like, if I'm in my towel, maybe they'll just leave. They'll be like, oh, you're busy. So, I walk to the door, I open it. The maintenance man, who's the one that told me that my black mold inside of my air conditioning unit was paper, is there. And he's like, I got you, he calls me by my name, and he goes, I got you this gift because you're so good, and it was my package that had been outside. He's a nice man. The one who heard you become a dolphin. I don't even remember that. And then there's two guys who are looking to move into this building, I guess. And so they're doing a tour of the units. Which I'm like, I know there's an empty one being painted right now. Can't they just go look at that? Like, why do they need to look at my furnished house? Because I'm saying furnished is pushing it. My place is not really furnished. In my living room, I have a futon covered in stuffed animals and all of my junk mail and Amazon boxes, a treadmill, a shelf with like 2 things on it, a bookshelf with books on it, and then a really, really old flat screen television. That's my living room. my kitchen has more shit in it, and yesterday I'd gotten my groceries, and if it wasn't cold, I hadn't put it away yet because I needed to clean out all of my cabinets. And then my bedroom is like, I look like people don't know what streaming is, so I probably look like I do porn or something. Or I have some sort of like weird childhood regression that I'm going through, which maybe I am. Taking care of your inner child is important. And so they're like, I'm like, hey, I'm in the bath right now. And they're like, oh, we just need to come in and see your unit. And I'm like, I'm in the bath. And they're like, we can wait a few minutes. I'm like, do you want me to finish my bath? Or do you want me to... I don't know. So I'm like, okay, let me get dressed. And I barely dry off and put my clothes on. And then these two dudes, an older guy and then probably a guy late 30s, come in. And they're just like in my house. And I'm like, thanks so much for coming in here. Oh my gosh, someone gave me $1,000. Damn. So they just are in my house, and I've got like two flats full of cardboard boxes to be like made so that I can use them. And so they're just stood next to it, and they're just like looking at all of my stuff, and I've got my suitcase open with all of my clothes in it. And I'm just like, sorry about the mess. Like, I'm trying to, you know, move eventually, and I'm trying to size down my stuff. And they're like, oh, it's no problem. And they, like, look in my bathroom and stuff. They're, like, looking in my bathroom, looking in my kitchen, and they're looking in my bedroom. And I'm like, yeah, my unit is different because it's not updated yet. And they're like, oh, yeah, they said that already. Because I don't have, like, my floors are still the old flooring. They did not get in my bathtub. And then they're just standing in my kitchen. And they're like, oh, you know, how long have you lived here? Do you like it? Do you have any complaints? And I'm like, well, I mean, there's bugs, but it's Florida, so that's kind of normal. And I've lived here since the rent was $895, and now it's $1,495. And they're like, yeah, that's normal for this area. That's actually pretty low for this area, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, rich ass. And so I just was like trying to get them out of my house as soon as I could. And then they were like, thanks so much. And I was like, yep. And they're like, don't worry about the mess. But the one guy made a joke, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna be talking about you for the rest of the day with how messy this place was or something. And he's like, just kidding. And I was like, so then they left, and I heard them like touring the other units or something. And it just was like, so I went back in the bathroom, I drained my bath, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna hang out for a moment because that was kind of ruined. And that was that. And then, they went on their way. And then I think it was like a couple hours later. So, the day before yesterday, Oz wasn't streaming because she wasn't feeling well. So I texted Boof, and I was like, will you help me prank Oz? And help me send her, like, a burgie with, like, everything she likes on it. And all of, like, chips and all of this stuff, to her house. And Boof is like, oh yeah, we can do that. And so she texted me, and she was like, oh, actually, she's having pizza today or something. I was like, darn. So she's like, we can try again tomorrow, which was yesterday. So Boof texted me yesterday and was like, okay, Operation Burgie is a go today. And I was like, yay. And then, so a couple hours after I got interrupted in my bath from the maintenance men, I got in the bath again, and since I've been here, I've been taking a lot of baths because in the UK, I didn't take very many, and I got my back tattooed, so I wasn't taking baths. Now my back tattoo's a little bit healed, and also I don't fill the bathtub all the way, so it doesn't touch my tattoo. I am back to 3 baths a day. So, I'm catching up on my bath quota since I've been back. So, a couple hours after the maintenance people leave, I get back in the bath again. I'm filling the bath up. It's about halfway up. The water is running super loud, normal like bath stuff. And Boof starts calling me. So I turn the bath water off and I answer the phone. And she's like, Boba, you have a delivery. And the man says he needs to meet me at the door. But I can't. So you need to go to the door. So I was like, okay. And I hung up. I got my towel on again, and I walked out the very front door of the entire apartment with just my towel on. And the man is getting in his the man is in his car looking at the door, sees me, waves to me, and then Boof and O's pranked me back and got me a huge brownie and ice cream that was outside. So they tricked me. Boof was in the middle of all this. O's thought she was pranking me. I thought I was pranking O's. We both got pranked by Boof. It was very cute. But it was funny because I got in the bath again and it was again. I had to get out of the bath, which was so fucking funny. I think I got back in it and I turned the water on for a little bit and I was like, all right. But it was so funny. 2 baths. 2 baths. Don't take fun to bath. But then I would have missed my brownie and ice cream. It would have melted. I bet you if I hadn't answered the door for the inspection people, I feel like they would have just left. And also, I have these things that I can put on my door that make it impossible to open. Because I've got these, like, safety locks that you put in, like, the... Not just locks, but I've got, like, extra safety ones. Which are, like... They're shaped like a Naruto knife. And they go in... I'm looking at the door that has one right now. And they go in the, like, turny bit. And then you push this thing down. It's a wedge thing. So I could just put that on. And then no one will bother me ever again.